Shroomraver here, and today it is the beginning of a brand new season of the PPL. You knew it was coming, and here we go. So this video is going to be a draft analysis, as you're used to, but it's going to be a little bit different because I'm not alone. A friend of mine had a very good idea, and he is here with me. It is the one and only Carson, aka Toxic Gaming. How you doing, man?
That's not the name anymore.
Is it not?
No, I changed everything on YouTube.
He's not that anymore. He is in fact someone completely different. He is...
It's all changed to Sir Plumpy on YouTube now.
Sir Plumpy, yes, of course, that is the one.
It's all got changed to.
Ignore what I said first, that's what it is now, but his links will be in the description anyway. I
forgot to tell you that.
It's a great start. We're super professional on this channel, as you know. Yeah, we're doing draft analysis for the PPL, the new season, but what we're going to do is take this as a sort of interview style thing where one of us will talk to the other about their draft and sort of go over the reasoning in a sort of interview style format, and that is what we're doing first off with my draft. So yeah, I guess without further ado, should we just kick it off?
I mean, basically, I'm just going to be questioning every logic thing you give to me.
Yes.
For taking especially your number one pick. Because I was kind of mad and I was going to take it, but that didn't happen.
Snipes happen.
Yeah, but you did have number one overall pick in the entire draft, lucky you.
Yes,
I will say from experience that it doesn't always bode well.
No, this is true. It has for me, though.
Yeah. I mean, the way the season goes.
Oh, yeah, that's very true. That is very true.
I had that, I think, 2 seasons ago, and I fucking tagged. But
yeah, a little bit.
But... your first overall pick was, is it Aurora? Is that what it's called? I don't fucking know.
Aurora?
What the fuck ever. It's
the new electric type.
It's the new hotness.
Yeah.
For 17 points. Mm-hmm. And you made it your Z user. Explain.
Yes, I did. There was a long reasoning behind why I made it my Z move user that I'll probably go into later because I wasn't originally going to. My hand was kind of forced in that regard, due to costs and snipes that came later. But yeah, like, I had first overall pick, and we allowed Aurora to be used, and I was just like, gotta do it. Absolutely gotta do it. Like, Chaos has been using it, and he's actually been using it well, and if he can do it, then I can do it.
Yeah, it's probably true.
It's kind of my thinking there. Yeah, it's just wicked fast. It's crazy powerful. Well, yeah, it's not actually that massively powerful, but its speed and its mixed capabilities just make it like a massive threat. It's like base 143 speed or something ridiculous like that.
There's one thing from it that I would have wished it had, and it doesn't.
What's that?
I wish it had fighting type.
Oh, fighting typing.
Yeah, I wish it was dual type, electric fighting, something kind of new, and then it would have, because it gets close combat, have that being stab along with whatever it's like. What was it? Its unique physical stab electric move that's better than Wild Charge. Yeah, that's better than Wild Charge. Having those two combined would be fucking nasty.
Yes, it would. And it would really supplement its its offensive stats are like in the low hundreds, like 112 or something like that.
It's like 112
so very workable. Yeah, very workable. But yeah, like it was my first overall pick, and I was like, no, I forget it. I can't not give it a try.
It's definitely, I was looking at it because I was like, I just want a good, solid electric type on my end, and then you took it, and I was like, motherfucker. But then we found out that if you didn't take it, the next two people would have, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, and like in previous seasons, my electric types being like Rotom, Regular, and Electabuzz and things, it's nice to have this thing where people look at it and go, well, that's a threat.
Yeah, exactly. But did you have a plan with pairing it with your number 2 pick of Mew for 18 points, the kind of expensive number 2 pick?
Not even a little bit.
Okay.
I didn't really have much in the way of planning early doors. So when it came back to me and there was stuff I knew would go, like, you hold out for hopes that like Megalopoly's going to make it to the second round, but realistically, like, it's not.
Didn't you get Megalop second round last season?
No, I think it was first pick.
Oh, okay. I remember you had that and like Zygarde 50 or something last season. I can remember which was your first and second.
Zygarde 50 from my 3rd round pick, which was
Fucking
ridiculous. But yeah, Mew, like, it's Mew. I've used it many times before, and just had to. Like, it came all the way back. I was like, it's still there. Everyone knows Mew's ridiculous niche in this kind of format. Everybody knows it. The king of unpredictability. And in previous times when I've been using Mew, I've always tried to get massive team support so that it isn't pigeonholed into that role.
Yeah, that's as I see, like, I've used Mew once in a different league, and it felt like, for the way I drafted around it, I needed it to be my Pokemon, I needed it to be a defogger with me, you know, I needed it to have those things, it rarely carried a stab move, because it could because it could do so much, it ended up putting it in a very specific role on the full team.
Exactly, and that's what I try and avoid with Mew. There's a lot of these kind of psychic types that get pigeonholed into one particular role, Mew being one, like Azel being another. And to not use their offensive capabilities does seem like a bit of a waste. And that's why I like getting Mew along with all this supportive stuff where it can just kind of cut loose and explore its options. So yeah, Mew, more than happy having it.
I was gonna say, speaking of like supportive stuff to pair with, to take that pressure off of Mew, with your 3rd pick, you took Porygon 2, which I know for 13, which I know, like, I fucking hate that you have that, because I hate that you have that. Anyone else, I'm fine with with taking it, but you having it sucks.
I love me some Porygon 2. It's like, even when I play, like, on the Showdown ladder, Porygon 2 is in most, if not all, of the teams.
Yeah, I would say you probably have the most knowledge of most of the people in D2 of P2.
Oh yeah, I use it all the time. It's ridiculous. I think it's got its niches. I think being the only Pokemon in draft format that's more expensive than its evolution.
Is it more expensive than PZ for us?
At the very least, they're the same price.
Yeah, I actually don't remember.
I think it is more expensive.
I have the shit right here. I might as well fucking look at it. Might as well do my job as a reporter and get my facts straight.
Yeah. Whilst the interview's happening, I always find
of course. It's always gotta be you.
For sure. Yeah, it's crazy bulky. It's monstrously good. And it's just so annoying. Like, I'm right there with you. I hate facing Porygon 2. I just love using it.
Porygon Z happens to be 10?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're definitely up there.
Massively more expensive. But yeah, I had to. I remember the times when, back in the day, when no one would draft anything that used Diviolite, and if they did, they got absolutely wrecked for it, and then suddenly everyone was like, actually, we need Porygon 2 on all of our teams.
Yeah. The thing I like having it with the Mew is that it can take away... Like, Porygon 2 really only needs Bolt Beam to do any damage. Really, that's all it needs. And so it can take those supporting style moves that Mew doesn't really want to take. And it can easily make use of any of them. Yeah,
P2 is really good like that. And it's no slouch offensive.
No, putting P2 in a Trick Room with 3 offensive moves or Bolt Beam and Recover is deadly as hell.
Yeah, no, it really can be. It's that style of bulky, really quite offensive with the recovery that it gets. Very hard to take down. It enforces so many moves. Like, it enforces an offensive presence on the opposite team to run a supporting move like Toxic.
Yeah.
Just so they can get around it.
Yeah, speaking of them having to run Toxic, having that with P2 and Mew, even though, you know, most poison types, you Toxic Mew, it doesn't fucking matter because it won't Toxic you back.
Yeah.
You've kind of mitigated that with your 4th pick being Heatran at 15 points.
Yeah. Absolutely. Not a mon I've ever used in draft. Ever. Not something I've really messed with.
You cut out on my end.
Okay. Yeah, I've never run it in draft format. I rarely run it outside of that. But, you know, it has its place. And yeah, to be able to tank those Toxics coming in and fire back, it's a very good supportive mod. it can be quite difficult to take down. Again, it's one of those things where it has that quad weakness that enforces the special attackers to run hidden power ground.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they're kind of screwed against it, and that does get mitigated later on in the draft. But yeah, I was kind of struggling because I had plans mid-draft, but not sort of around the upper and lowers, and I was thinking fire's going to be a problem. Always need steel. I want rocks so that Mew isn't forced to run them all the time. And Heatran's happy just sitting there going, yeah, I'll set rocks every week, why not?
Yeah. Heatran has one of those things where I feel like it has 4 moves, but it's really only ever uses 3 of them.
Yeah.
And so just throwing Stealth Rocks on almost every Heatran is not a problem.
Yeah. And again, no slouch offensively. Offensive Heatran. Absolutely.
Well, yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, you could have dual stab and 1 coverage move on an offensive Heatran, and then just have Stealth Rocks on there.
Yeah, just for the hell of it.
Yeah, like you're not going to get any recovery options. It's unless you're going to be you and run the Dragon Pulse Heatran. Like
wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, it's like you don't mind having that extra kind of that status and supporting move. Hell, put a Willow on an offensive Heatran.
Yeah, just to help out the rest of the team. It can do that. It can run an offensive.
True.
That makes me happy.
You died out during that completely.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I was saying, like, it can run an offensive spread whilst still supporting the team at the same time.
Yes. Speaking of, like, with it having, like, the helping out with mitigating toxics thanks to steel typing, it can also, like, threaten back on the one Poisonmon that can do it to it, being Salazzle, with having Earth Power.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it can actually threaten anything else with Toxic itself.
Yeah, precisely.
Anything that tries to wall its offensive stuff. So that's why I do like it with what you have.
Yeah, I think it should work well.
Speaking of things to kill Salazzle, hopefully, you went, you know, I feel to me it's a little bit of a strange pick to get this early. At the round 5, picking up regular Sandslash for 4 points this early.
Yeah.
Can you explain why you dove into the low end this early?
I very much can.
I'll say this early like 5 more times.
Here's the thing. There's a mindset within draft format that every tier of Pokemon has the round where they should go, and they should not go before it. Not a big subscriber to that. I feel like if you really want a Pokemon, and you don't want it to be taken before it can potentially come back to you, you take it whatever round you want. Sandslash, there are so many reasons I took it. Firstly, it was mispriced. It was supposed to be 6. It was actually I don't want anyone else picking up on. I wanted more rocks. I wanted spin again to support that Mew, and also it was just a simple fact of the fact that Sandslash for me is such a pick. I think Sandslash is the Pokemon I've used most. It's such a comfort pick. I'm so happy and comfortable using it in a variety of roles. It's always just been really, really solid.
See, I've used Sandslash once, and the issue I found with it was that it could tank some hits, but never anything as much as I wanted it to.
There is that. You sort of have to try and mitigate that a little bit, like a lot of the special attackers that have to run hidden power. All you really need to do is stick an assault vest on it, and it's tanking.
You said hidden power ice, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stick an assault vest on, it's tanking. And just so many of those really powerful physical threats, like, I don't know, Excadrill, or something like that. Like, a Sandslash will just come in on it, and it will take 2 hits, and force things out, and get up rocks, and spin things away, and toxic stuff, and knock things off, and just do all those nasty, annoying things that people don't like. I'll say, yeah, round 5 for a 4 million early, but it was such a comfort for me, and just made me feel more comfortable having it.
Yeah, I forgot that it had been mispriced at 6, so having it be like supposed to be a 6 million mon definitely makes it feel better to be picked in round 5. But it's still like you picked it before your round 6 pick of Primarina at 13. Like you had faith that Prim was still gonna fucking be there around 6.
Yeah, absolutely. water types and fairy types go early, and people already have a lot of them. So I was like, Primarina will stick around. And the thing of it was, I had contingency in case Primarina went. I didn't really have contingency in case Sandslash did.
Fair point.
But Primarina I used last season, and it was just literally a case of Primarina's in. What do you want to die?
Yeah, it'll two-shot, if not one-shot, a lot of things. Like, surprisingly, a lot of things.
Oh yeah, like I went up against a classic regen core, Assault Vest Tangrowth, especially defensive Assault Vest Tangrowth, and Slowking. And Tangrowth was the first switch in. It switched in on the Moonblast and took 70%.
Yeah.
And so the guy was like, okay, well I'll go into...
You're what? You're cutting out more and more now.
Technical difficulties.
Okay.
Always a problem.
Back with the Primarina stuff. You cut out around the point of the regen core.
Yes. Basically, it was a massive regen core that I was doing 70-80% to consistently.
And see, I had Primarina once, and in a different league, and it was one of the ones I was very surprised. Like, hey, Spec Surf does so fucking much. Yes,
it does. People don't expect it. Even on a resisted hit, just like a Specs Primarina, it's such a nuke.
Yeah.
And it tanks. It tanks hits too. Like, that special defense ain't nothing to sniff at.
I think it came down to a roll to have me win or lose the game on hitting a resisted Spec Surf.
Yeah.
And it was still, the roll was doing like 80% and I needed it to do 81.
Yeah. It's such a massive threat. It can tank hits, it can support as well. It's not often that you see it run the likes of dual screens, but it can.
I don't know, I see it like a weird, like, this is what Milotic should have been.
Yes, I agree with you on that. It's really good defensive typing, and also just its offensive typing. It's just good. Just good typing. Water Fairy.
Are you going to call it Aiden English?
No.
I'm sad.
Well, these things happen.
I mean, he is the one who, chants about Rusev Day all the time, until recently.
True.
But,
true.
Now you decide to pair up, you have a Fire and Water type with Heatran Prim, and for your Grass type, you chose Delmise at 11.
Yes.
11 points, 7
yes,
pick.
I did. Mm-hmm.
That feels weird to me, and I don't know why.
I can kind of see why, because you're looking at a Fire, Water, Grass core without a lot of often used recovery. Delmise gets it, but doesn't run it very often. The reason I chose Delmise is simply because I've been using it so often casually and absolutely loving it. It's crazy powerful. It's super bulky. It's my kind of thing. It's bulky offense at its finest. And it's also probably one of the better spinners going. It takes the pressure off Sandslash and again Mew to be getting rid of those hazards quite often. And yeah, it beats a lot of spin blockers simply because of its typing, its natural bulk whereby it will take any one given super effective hit a lot of the time, especially if you're running AV. And it will just fire back and it will hurt. I've come up against it and been ruined by it more than once. And just also given the fact that it essentially has 3 stabs is really nice option to have.
See, yeah, with its abilities, like steel moves in general, or just anchor shot that it gets like stab from?
Steel moves in general.
Okay. I can remember if it was that with anchor shot only or just with steel moves.
No, steel in general. But
having I would say maybe Ghost out of those 3 typings is the most offensive. Like to me, still steel is a lot of a defensive typing compared to offensive. So having that extra stab helps. Especially with fairies being a really big thing.
Absolutely, it's a nice fairy killer. It has its niche. It's a good fairy killer, I think. I think it's a great spin block counter.
The thing I like with it, with the anchor shot being like the fairy killer stuff, is that it's going to more than likely not one shot. But if you land the anchor shot, it will lock them in.
Yeah, that's a really nice one, and that's another reason why it's another one of those things that takes on nasty defensive cores, especially like we mentioned before, regen cores do not like Delmise at all because there's very little they can do to it. The likes of Tangrowth, Slowking, even like Amoonguss.
Best thing I can think of Tangrowth
like
doing to it would be like a knockoff or something. But then
Yeah,
again, you only do that once.
is best. Yeah, absolutely. And sort of then trying to sort of toxic it and stuff, but by the time you've got a toxic on it and got rid of its item, it's got rid of you.
Yeah, I would say it definitely hits you hard, but
yeah,
I see a little bit of an issue with it, I guess, being a more bulky offensive mon, having that grass offense doesn't seem to come into play a lot of the time.
That's
I've
true.
noticed.
That's true. An unreliable grass offense as well.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, it's a risk I'm willing to take.
Okay. I was going to say, that's one thing I would keep in mind, but I'm pretty sure you've had that on your mind already.
Yeah.
For your 9th pick, you went...
Eighth.
8th, I can't read.
And I have to say, this was the part where things actually started to fall apart.
It fell apart here by taking Scolipede at 8 for 16.
Yes.
Why taking him on that strong at this, like, late in the game, why did that fall apart?
I was never intending on taking Scolipede. This was the biggest snipe of the entire draft. It ruined my pricing, and it ruined my Z-move users, because I was all set to take Drapion. For the dark typing, for the toxic spike stack, for being a really good Z-move user that I would then just have enough to pair it up with Mew. But it got sniped from me by Rufus.
Yes.
And then
was
I had
then also
to
put
really
as a Z-move
rethink.
user.
So in the end, I wanted Hazard Stack even more because the likes of Aurora, Mew, they love Hazard Stack. So in the end, I was just like, okay, we can work this out. He's a monster. It really is. It's not just a baton pass niche user.
No, I will
It's
say from
powerful.
experience that it definitely can fuck your shit if you're not ready.
Oh yeah, if you expect it only to be passing speed boosts and you let it get out of control, it will run you over.
With actually a good thing to put up for anybody who's watching this who maybe doesn't know any PPL rules or stuff, isn't used to it. He can pass speed or pass a different stat. He just can't pass both together. True.
In a big way.
What'd you say? True. Oh, be more true.
Hello?
Were you here?
Yep.
Okay, what did you say when I was saying that?
Just the fact that if you misinterpret Scolipede and think, oh, it's just going to be stat passing, and you let it get out of control, it'll run you over.
Yes, but like with it only being able to pass speed itself or like different stats, just not plus speed, it does help like with that baton passing stuff for PPL. But still, I don't want to pass fucking +2 speed to a Primarina.
Yeah, Primarina, Delmise, Heatran.
Hey, I don't want to see that in my life.
Yeah, no one wants. And also something that's coming up later, which we'll get to.
Yeah, and the other thing of like I'm saying too, like if you put a Swords Dance under a Aurora or whatever that has the 125 speed, it's like, oh, I just don't want to set up. Here you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that can be very deadly in the team as well.
Yeah, it's a dangerous thing.
Yeah, going into the number 9 pick now that I can actually read. You picked Noivern with 8 points, and that is your other Z user.
Yes. Again, wasn't something I was planning on taking, but I wanted to fill out that speed gap that Noivern slips into nicely at base 123. It's kind of just a little sort of opportunist, is Noivern. Something's weakened, you send in Noivern, it will pick it off. It's a useful U-turner. It's got really good coverage with not a stunning amount of power and very good speed, which for me makes it a really good Z-move user choice.
The thing I like about Noivern with the Z user, and I like this with dragons in general as Z users, is they usually have a pretty wide move pool.
Exactly.
And with us, with PPL doing like, you get any Z move with that Z user, we're not doing the support Z users anymore. Noivern having that wide move pool and having like, isn't it like Z switcheroo that's like one of the really good ones or some shit? Like he gets like weird fucking moves that I wouldn't be surprised if their Z move counterparts were that good.
Yeah, exactly. I think Noivern fits into that slot quite well, because it's, if anything, used on its own, it's underwhelming, but give it the Z, and it'll probably do quite well.
I mean, you can Z Draco most things.
Yeah, Z Draco, Z Hurricane, Z Boomburst. 3 really powerful moves, 2 of which are stab. And those 2 stab ones don't have the greatest accuracy, but obviously you stick the Z move on and they will be hitting. What I like about it is it's lovely pairing with Heatran. They force a difficult hidden power decision.
And this is where you were talking about before with the hidden power ground weakness of Heatran?
Exactly, exactly. Heatran doesn't like hidden power ground, Noivern's immune. Noivern doesn't like hidden power ice, Heatran quad resists. So that's a nice quad resistant pairing to make, especially when Noivern can be U-turning around, possibly even directly into the Heatran, often outspeeding and setting up an opportunity for it to do something else.
Yes, I like the Noivern pick, even with it like kind of being forced maybe because of Scolipede. I like the Noivern pick. And then for your final pick, you only picked 10 of the 11 that we were allowed. You picked one that is definitely a fan favorite for you and probably the people on your channel of Zangoose at 5 points.
Oh yes. Zangoose at 5 points. Can I just say about Zangoose at 5 points? That is criminally underpriced.
I mean, it's a Zangoose.
It's stupidly powerful. Like, I had Zangoose a few seasons ago, and it was on a team. Yeah, I know, right? It was on a team where I had Necrozma and Mamoswine and Terrakion and Salazzle
and an Ancient Powers Zapdos that was absolute garbage. Sorry.
That one too. And that was the thing. People looked at those Pokemon and went, okay, I need to prepare for these threats. And then it gets into the team viewer, and they go, oh no. Oh, he's brought Zangoose. Oh, I've got nothing for that. And it just was so good. Again, it's one I've been using on the ladder a lot. It's...
True.
Kills the season I had it. It
you
was
go
on
back
the
to what you said about the ladder.
For 9 turns.
Shroom, go back to what you said about the ladder. Shroom. Shroom!
Yes, I'm here.
No, you were not.
Oh, I wasn't?
No, not since you started talking about the ladder. You left after that.
Okay. Well, basically, what I was saying was Zangoose murders things, and when I had it the previous season, it got 7 kills in 9 turns.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I don't think you brought it against me, but then you also we had the Dragonair Stuffle debacle.
Yeah, that was the main focus of the PPL that season. That was the matchup everyone wanted to see.
Yeah, exactly. We want to see that.
Yeah, but again, Zangoose again is something of a comfort pick for me, just because it hurts, and it's rare to be under such a threat from quick attack, but Zangoose makes quick attack a threat.
With your Z move kind of having to change because of the Scolipede pick, were you planning on Zangoose being one of the Z movers users?
No.
No.
No, not at all. Toxic Orb all the way. I can see, because obviously now it gets Belly Drum. Z Belly Drum Zangoose being a thing. But the Toxic Orb really is its main focus. Zangoose for me is always going to be hit and run. So Belly Drummers for me are the ones that want to stick around. But Zangoose is always for me a hit and run Pokemon. It doesn't want to take half damage from setting up at all, because it's not bulky.
And like if you're setting up with a Toxic Orb, like you're putting yourself on the worst timer in the world.
Oh yeah, you'll kill 3 things, but then you just die.
Yeah. You may get to kill 3 things.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's probably not the team that I'm happiest with that I've ever drafted, but I'm pretty confident that it will do well.
Would you have taken a 1-point Mon if you had the budget to?
Yes.
If you would have been able to get the Drapion you wanted?
I think I might well have done, yeah. I think I had vague ideas, hints at something that I could take for 1 mil.
Can you tell us what is the 1 mil you would have taken?
Oh god, what was it? I think it might not have been for 1 mil. It might have been for a little bit more than that, I think.
Or 2. Well, I'll say 1 or 2, because 2's... There's a lot in 2.
Yeah. Now, is it that not... I think I might have looked at Lickitung.
Yeah.
Or Misdreavus. Or just something weird like I don't know, like Mothim or something.
Fucking hell, if you got a Mothim, that would be weird.
I like me a bit of Mothim. I did consider Shedinja at one point. Just for the memes.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's what it's for.
Yeah, exactly. Or just something even weirder, like I don't know, like Foret.
Foret.
I wouldn't be averse to taking Foret once. I've never taken
Foret's a Pokemon.
Yeah, Foret exists.
Yeah,
People forget. At one point, I was actually, because I don't have a Mega, but at one point I was considering Mega Banette.
I was gonna say, with not having a Mega, was that part of your original plan? Like with the final snaps at the end, were you holding off on your Mega until the end, like most people?
Sort of. There was a vague idea in my head of trying to draft Mega Pidgeot, which was something I was planning if I got the Drapion.
And you
Mega
probably
Pidgeot
wouldn't have
was
taken
something I was
Noivern
considering.
then.
No, I wouldn't have taken Noivern. And then I would have tried to bulk out with a couple of really, really cheap things. But Mega Pidgeot ended up not really working with the team, so as soon as that became evident to me, and especially when I was then considering Delmars, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sack off Mega. I'm not gonna get a Mega at all.
Okay, so it was before even the Drapion pick that you were like, maybe the Mega is not the best way to go.
Yeah.
And then that pick just confirmed it.
Yeah, I'm the only one without a Mega, which is cool.
I thought there was like maybe one more, but I knew there was a lot of Megas taken.
Yeah, everyone else got a Mega in the end.
But that does finish your draft. Is there anything final you want to say about your draft overall?
It's bulky offense. It's my kind of style. Rufus, I hate you.
Good thing to end on.
Pretty much.
So
yeah, absolutely. That, guys, is my draft analysis. As with all the draft analyses I've ever done, do let me know down in the comment section what you think of the team, how you think it's going to function, what sort of changes you would potentially have made going into this draft and knowing the sort of things that were being taken. Yeah, I'm always interested to hear your thoughts on how well you think it's going to do, and which Pokemon you think is going to be an MVP as well, and also which ones you think are going to fail dismally, because there's always at least one.
I'm betting Delmai's fails. I'm betting that's the fail.
Yeah?
That's the one that feels really odd and doesn't seem to fit to me, but that's the one I'm betting.
That's fair. It could well be. But yeah, that's really going to wrap things up from us. Thank you very much, Carson, for joining us.
Of course. Also, I would like to ask anyone watching, what do you think of doing draft analysis like this? It's like weird interview style. To me, it's better than people just speaking about their own draft and kind of stroking their own thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. So this will also be a thing that's happening over on Carson's channel. Again, his links will be down in the description. We'll be sort of doing a role reversal to go over his draft, which we'll be recording.
You know how I like that roleplay?
Huh?
What?
What was it?
Nothing.
I think I heard you, and I'm scared. Please help. Send help. But yeah, head over onto Carson's channel after sort of seeing this one, if you haven't seen the one we're going to do over there, because he's got a pretty heckin' cool draft, and you're going to want to hear his thoughts on it for sure. But yeah, that's going to wrap things up from us for now, so thank you all very much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed. Look forward to the season. It's going to be kicking off soon, and guess with that, I'll see you next time. Later.
Bye.